appreciate Onya Construction and NYC for their full support for this training. Thank you. Engineer Alex Onya is the CEO of Educare Technology. Educare is the largest enterprise resource product solution in Nigeria. They are #1 leading educational technology platform in Africa for the K-12. They serve more than 1 million students and 3,000 parents. I can go on and on. They partnered with Facebook to make sure that the platform is more relevant in the day-to-day lives of people all over the world. And then he has been into a whole lot of other things that has to do with tech. He read agricultural and bioresource engineering. And I've already said he is the CEO of Educare. So please join me and welcome Engineer Alex Onya. Engineer Alex, thank you for giving us this time. I know how precious every minute is for you. Really appreciate your allowing us to learn from your wealth of knowledge. So please, you have access to share your slide and
thank you so much. Can someone help me share the slide?
Okay. Mr. Puta, can you share? Mr. Puta, can you share? Can you share this slide? Mr. Puta, are you online? If you can hear me, please indicate.
Okay. I think yes. Okay, brilliant. Can you put it on presentation view? Okay, brilliant. So thank you so much, everyone. I'm really happy. I'm proud to be here. So I want us to talk about something that many of us have heard, many of us are aware of, but I think we may also need a little bit more deeper insight to be able to understand it and then see how that can really impact our lives and probably have a little bit more experiential knowledge of how it works. So, and our topic today is understanding artificial intelligence. AI.
Please, before you go on, I know that you just came into where you are is not because of the journey, you just came into Abuja. Can you please, is it possible for us to see you so they will know that it's not an AI that is talking to them? Thank you.
Can you see me now?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is not AI. This is a human being. Okay. So our topic today is understanding AI. So we've heard of AI. AI is simply artificial intelligence. And what's the idea behind artificial intelligence? Humans, we are the most intelligent being ever. But one thing that happens with human beings is that we make mistakes and we get tired. And we need to start looking at, okay, we want to be able to do something that can serve 1 billion humans. But it's almost impossible for humans to create that. Why can't we just invest in machines and transfer some level of intelligence to it so that the machine can also mimic like a human and then do more work since machines don't get tired? So that is like the whole idea of AI. So, you know, before you talk about artificial intelligence, you need to talk about natural intelligence. So what is intelligence and how does it play? And then you have to relate it now to machine. So this is just like a brief. So can we go to the next slide, please? Now, in the content, we are going to address 3 key things. One is the fundamentals of AI. Two is the application of AI in our own society. And the third one is developing AI skills, which can be very helpful and crucial for us. So can you go to the next slide, please? Can you go to the next slide, please? Fundamentals of AI. Okay. So now, what is artificial intelligence? If you read closely, you see that artificial intelligence, AI, refers to the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, especially computer systems. It involves learning, reasoning, and self-correction. So what makes up intelligence in humans are these three core abilities: ability to learn, ability to reason, and ability to self-correct. So when you say that someone is intelligent, that means the person has maybe a superior ability to learn, so the person can be taught. Then the person can reason. Normally the concept of computer is give me information, process information, and give you output. That is what computer we are taught in school. But now, something above computer, whereby computer is now giving data, which is information. Computer processes information, reasons along the data that they have, and then gives feedback. So this time around, the computer now said, okay, you know what? Because what makes somebody intelligent is that the level of information you have as a human being can increase your level of intelligence. Because what happens is that you have access to a lot of, the person is studying, the person have access to a lot of information. So the person can put them together in the shortest possible time and be able to make something very meaningful. That's what makes the person intelligent. And then ability to be able to self-correct your errors. These are the core components that forms level of intelligence. Remember, if you have the ability to learn, if you have the ability to reason, and if you have the ability to self-correct. Now, this is exactly the same DNA that we are transferring to machines. So you need machines that you can now train. So the machine is learning as you are training the machine with a lot of large data sets. The machine has the capability to reason. So it's no more the case of give you instruction, they deliver. The machine can reason and tell you, this instruction you are giving me, I don't even think is correct. So maybe you have to look at it in a different light. And then the machine can be able to make mistakes and self-correct themselves. Especially when you prompt the machine, oh, what you did is really wrong. I don't even think it's so right. The machine can reason a lot more. So these are the things that forms the concept of AI. Then the next one I want to talk about is machine learning. You see that machine learning, AI systems use algorithms to analyze data, learn from it, make decisions based on the patterns and insight derived. Machine learning. Pay attention, machine learning. Now, we are developing algorithms, that's programmatic patterns, whereby we can be able to say, okay, let's feed this machine with some data. We can even create like patterns. They can use those rapid data sets and different patterns. The most popular AI that we are now aware of is the LLMs. That's like something like the GPTs, the Geminis. These are the ones that we are very familiar with. So you can see how intelligent is what they call the lava. They call it the lava reasoning model. This is one thing that makes the reasoning a little bit more superior. And this is how one of the things you achieve with machine learning. And then I'm so sorry for the background noise. I have to find a place. Then let's talk about the last one. Just a moment. Let's talk about the last one. And the last one is deep learning. So the deep learning, we talk about the subtest of machine learning involves in neural networks to simulate human decision making. So now, if some of us who know a little bit about biology, what forms our reasoning, our learning is what they call the neurons in our brains, right? So now, there's this in what we call the artificial neural networks. These artificial neural networks are what also helps us to form the pattern of reasoning and learning. So the same thing that you achieve with human beings is exactly the same thing you achieve with machines. Next slide, please. Now, I've talked about AI. I believe at this point, we must have started understanding AI in a more experiential form. The first question is, how does AI work? The way AI works in just three core steps. You can now start going deep and start expanding it. First is data processing. AI systems process large amounts of data sets. So I talked about the importance of giving it a lot of data sets. Process a large amount of data sets to identify patterns and trends, enabling them to make predictions and decisions. You know, in a human being, for instance, if I come to Nsukka through Odim Gate, I come every day. If somebody asks you that I'm coming to Nsukka, based on the pattern that your brain have formed, you can give some near accurate prediction that he is going to come through Odim Gate. Because based on the past experiences in machines, those experiences are data. Based on the past experiences, he may highly likely come through Odim Gate. So by the time, and then there may be conditions that makes me come through Odim Gate. Maybe on Wednesdays when I come, the roads are always blocked. So based on the data set that you have, you can also predictively say, if it's on Wednesday, he may likely come through Odim Gate. If it's not on Wednesday, he may come through the main gate. So these are some things, and these are exactly the same way that AI analyzes and processes their data. Then I talk about pattern recognition. So normally in human being, we call it mental modeling. Through pattern recognition, AI can classify and interpret data, enabling them to perform tasks more efficiently and effectively. That's why one of the first easiest way to be able to deceive an AI system is to be able to introduce very strange, unrecognizable pattern. But what happens is that any strange pattern you give AI studies that pattern and puts that pattern as part of also their learning. So whenever you come to something that is strange, AI already knows. You can now start using that pattern you used before. In any time you query an AI, the AI system is also learning something new. Now, the last one is decision making. AI system use the information gathered to make decisions or take actions, often in real-time scenarios. What is the purpose of having information if it does not aid in quality decision making? That is why the more the information, the better the decision making. That's why if you want to, even in law court, you want to judge a case, you want to hear from A, you want to hear from B, you want to hear from witnesses. By the time you gather all this information, it makes your decision making and your judgments a lot more accurate. But if you hear from A and you make a judgment, you will highly likely get it wrong. So the more data the AI systems have, the better the decision making. I hope that makes sense. Now, the next is, let's even check about the subfields in AI. In AI, we have some core subfields, and one of them is cognitive computing for natural human-like interaction and machines. And we have the computer vision. I believe many of us have heard about the computer vision technology. One of the most popular one is the Apple Pro, where they use computer visions to be able to help create patterns. And then you talk about the OCR, that's object character recognition, whereby machines, you can even upload an image, machines can look at the image, machines can interpret the image, and then use it to do something very brilliant. Then you talk about machine learning, we talk about natural language processing, we talk about deep learning, and we talk about the neural networks. Now, can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, so now we've talked about this. Let's talk about the ethical consideration in AI. First is bias and fairness. You know, the question is AI biased? Who is feeding AI the data? Can we trust AI? Can we do this? Can we do that? AI systems can inherit biases from the data they are trained on, leading to unfair or discriminatory outcomes. So one of the things you see that informs a much better AI system is highly dependent on the amount of data sets that they have. So if I build an AI system and train it with just my organizational data, anytime you prompt that AI system, it gives you very inaccurate and biased feedback because of the limited amount of knowledge it has. Another big one is privacy concerns. And we're talking about AI. How much of my personal information is available to these machines? Now, the use of AI in data analysis raises concerns about privacy and security of personal information. So, and these are some of the things we've attended a lot of AI conferences, and these are part of the things that we've actually addressed in these cases. Now, transparency and accountability is essential for AI systems to be transparent in their decision-making process and be held accountable for their actions. So, and these are one of the things that the people that advancing the cause of AI always make sure that transparency and accountability are very key. Because if we don't have it, it becomes extremely difficult for people to trust AI systems. Can you go to the next slide, please? Can you go to the next slide? Okay. So now, you want to build a skill on AI. There are three key things that you require. Programming languages. Foundationally, there are some core languages that you should know, which I didn't even add in this slide. C#, C++. These are foundational core languages that are very necessary. Then on the second layer, we talk about Python, we talk about R. These languages are very crucial in developing AI applications and algorithms. Then, aside from the programming languages, another foundation that is very important is mathematics and statistics. Then we talk about understanding linear algebra, calculus, statistics. So these key topics are very, very, very important and foundational in developing AI systems. That's why when you see mathematicians, they are likely going to be better ML engineers or AI engineers. Then we talk about the hands-on project, because one of the things about this our field is that the more problems you are exposed to, the much better you will be in terms of the career path. So with this, if you have a lot of projects, like I had some of my young interns, I gave them some very important projects. I told them, okay, I want us to see how we can use AI systems to be able to help children decide a much more better career path. And you need to give them a pool of questions. You need to be able to merge it, compare it with, pull it from different APIs and see how we can be able to come up with something final. And they have been running during the experiments. Unfortunately, they have started coming up with results that are near accurate. This is very important. So these are the kind of engagements that you can be doing. We've used AI. I'm going to show you some other things probably at the end of the slide so that you can see how we've been able to use AI to be able to build very robust and powerful patterns. The next slide, please. Now, applications of AI in our society. The next slide, please. These are the just three I want to show you. One, we have the diagnosis and treatments. Have you ever wondered why it took us only 18 months to be able to get the vaccine for COVID? Only 18 months. Ideally, to be able to get a vaccine may take you up to 30 years. But because of the introduction of two key things, high-powered GPU machines, which is the quantum machines, quantum computing, and then the introduction of AI, you can see that the system can rapidly study patterns of diseases and be able to come up with a counter. Talk about like advanced diagnosis and treatment. These are the things that are being carried out by AI, discovering all kinds of new drugs. AI is the future. And then personalized medicine, understanding your pattern and recommending medicine that fits for you. So these are things that takes humans years to achieve. But with machines, this can happen in days or in weeks. Next slide, please. Now, this is the one that becomes very personal for me, AI in education, because fortunately, we built one of the largest ERP systems that works across schools in Africa and Middle East. Personalized learning. AI systems can adapt educational content to individual student needs, providing, so when we talk about personalized learning, we need to understand that every single child learns in a different pace and in a different pattern. There are auditory learners, there are visual learners, there are slow learners, there are fast learners, but learning is a constant. So with AI systems, they can help design courses or things that makes it a lot easier and better. Administrative efficiency. AI streamlines administrative tasks in education as such as grading. I'm going to show you how we use that, scheduling and resources. I'm going to show you a little bit more how it works on educare. And then tutorial and support. With AI systems, you can now design tutorial systems that will make a lot more sense. Next slide, please. AI in transportation. I mean, many of us know about Tesla vehicles and Tesla cars. We are talking about the self-driving. So in the future, almost all cars will be self-driven. Human beings will stop driving. And then, when AI drive cars, they will be far more accurate than human beings. You see that the accidents on the roads will reduce to almost zero. That is the power of AI systems. Traffic management. When AI manages the traffic, you see that the accuracy becomes a lot more high. And then the safety and security. When you deploy AI in the areas of security, you realize that the accuracy level is also much, much higher than humans. Next level, please. AI in entertainment. If you've noticed something very important, you go to a website and type laptop bag. Once you open another website and you are seeing ads, every single thing you are doing, they're definitely going to be recommending laptop bags on ads, laptop bags on everything. So you see that Google, Microsoft, they are working really hard to find out what you may find interesting. And they use their AI systems to build recommendations that can keep you more in the system. Content creation. There's someone I know that did an album, a full album with AI. You see people design music arts, design images. I can show you some things. I'll show you how I use AI to generate images and all. Gaming and virtual realities. You can use AI to achieve a lot of this. Next, please. Next, please. So this is the best way to be able to develop yourself in this field. You can take a lot of online courses. There are some expert tutors online that can really help you. One of the ones I recommend a lot is Mosh Hamedani. He's one of the best tutors online. Subscribing to his course, you can get a lot of high quality trainings that can make you relevant anywhere in the world. Hackathons and competitions. So if you see any hackathon around the campus, always make sure that you desperately join, because it helps you to be able to build a strong team of like-minded people, and you can work on different projects and improve yourself. And then industry internships. If you're fortunate to see industries that work on AI and computer systems, joining them will really be helpful for you. Next slide, please. Importance of ethical AI practice, fairness and accountability. Emphasizing the importance of developing AI systems that are fair, transparent, and accountable in their decision-making process. Privacy protection, understanding the ethical consideration of AI in handling sensitive data and ensuring privacy protection. Social impact awareness, recognizing the potential societal importance of AI application and the responsibility in developing and deploying AI systems. The next slide, please. So we know about SWOT analysis, right? In business, we talk about strength, weakness, odds, and then the threats. So you can use odds because you can also use the opportunities. So in the strength, you talk about what are like the most advantageous trend of AI? AI skill development empowers individuals to contribute technological advancement and innovation. So another thing is this, the most relevant skill now is AI skill. This is a skill that if you have, a lot of people would definitely need you. The opportunities are enormous. The increased demand of AI professionals creates diverse career opportunities in various industries. All industries that you can ever think of need that skill set. Then the weakness is the rapid evolution of AI requires continuous learning. That's one thing about the space. There's nothing like you've gotten to a point you need to rest. I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, I'm a professor. It doesn't work in our space. You need to learn rapidly every single day. If you don't learn for 1 week, you're already outdated. So it makes it impossible for you to get to a particular stable point in terms of knowledge, because there are new and advanced systems that come out almost every single day. And the threats, ethical and societal implication of AI raises concern. So if AI systems are not used rightly, it can also create a strong harm in the society. Next, please. So future trends in AI skill development, interdisciplinary integration. The future of AI with other disciplines such as healthcare, finance, environmental science creates avenue for skill development. Lifelong learning. The need for continuous skill enhancement and adaptation to evolving AI technology for long-term career. And the last one is the global collaboration. Engaging in international AI initiatives and collaboration projects to address global challenges and opportunities in AI development. So this one, there's a lot of collaborations we do now with different countries. We try to see how we can develop different proprietary AI models that can help us achieve a whole lot more, which is very interesting. The next one, please. So now, thank you. And I hope that this presentation, you found it very useful. So, but before I end, I want to show you in the practical sense some of the things we've done and how AI have already helped in improving the quality of learning for the children that use EduCare. Can you stop sharing your screen, please? So at this point, I will share my screen. Just a moment. Okay. Just a moment, please. Okay. Just a moment. I don't know if anyone can see my screen. If you can see my screen, can I hear you, please?
Yes, you can see it. I can see
Okay,
it.
brilliant.
Yes,
So
you can
now I want to show you how we applied AI to be able to identify the gaps in children's learning and to be able to recommend strong improvements. So I'm going to give you a scenario. We wrote an English exam, right? And you know the way you write exam in school. You write exam and they give you A, they give you B, they give you C. Those results are good, but those results are not helpful. So because I want to know, okay, where am I having these gaps in? I want to know where I'm having these gaps in so that I can know where my interventions can start coming. Can everyone still hear me?
Yes,
we can hear
clearly.
you.
Okay, brilliant. So I want to show you, this is a sample assessment. I'll show you a sample assessment. Just a moment. Let me see if I'll use this one. Just a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment. Okay. Brilliant. Now, I want to show you something. So we conducted an online assessment, right? This is a sample in an English, I think it's like a combined assessment, English, chemistry, physics, and biology. These children wrote these exams. In the normal school settings, what you see is 93 over 145 over 180, and the children are being graded, and they take their score. The people that did well will be happy. They didn't even know where they did well. The people that failed will be angry, and they didn't even know where their gaps are. Now, we've deployed advanced AI systems here to be able to see how we can actually identify the gaps in the children. So now, this particular child now, Eze Macmillan Chinemerem, let me go to this result analysis. Let me even see, first of all, our intelligence systems tracks the time this child spends per question. So why do we track time? If you spend a lot of time in a question and you still fail that question, we can predictively say that that question is highly likely difficult for you. If you spend a lot of time in a question and you still got it right, what it means is that the question probably may require a little bit more calculation or a little bit more thinking. So that helps us even identify the difficulty level of that question. Now, the ones on green are English language. The red is chemistry. The blue is physics, and the yellow is biology. Look at this closely. The English was assessed on 4 core topics: sentence interpretation, antonyms, synonyms, and lexis and structure. The question is, for this particular child, in English language, which topics are this child having issues in? I would like somebody to answer me, please. Are we here? Are we here?
Yes.
That's where we see. Where we see.
Which topics is this particular child having gaps in? Struggling with in English? Remember, we have sentence interpretation. We have antonyms.
I think he will be having an antonyms.
Okay, so the child is having issues in 2 core topics. If you look at this, you see that this child scored 30% in sentence interpretation, and this child also scored 30% in lexis and structure. But if you come to synonyms, this child scored 73.3%, and this guy scored 80% in antonyms. So it's obvious that the child has strength in antonyms and synonyms. So the child's understanding of these 2 topics are really strong. But the child is struggling with sentence interpretation and this particular topic, lexis and structure. And these topics, you can see what is pulling this child down: the poor understanding of sentence interpretation and lexis and structure. So if you really want to help this child, because of this child may likely score poorly in English. You can see that the English score for this child is 32. You can see it, right? And this 32 was caused by these 2 topics, lexis and structure and sentence interpretation. So as a school or as a parent, you can, when you're hiring a lesson teacher, you can know where you can tell them to focus their strength on. If the child closes their gap from 30% to 78%, and then this one from 30% to like 94%, automatically this child will go from 32 to an A. I don't know if that makes sense. So this is where background intelligence, deploying AI in education, can help raise children's success. So you can see this child in other subjects, like in chemistry. The child is having strong issues in chemical equilibrium. The child is good in IOPAC nomenclature. The child is good with kinetic theory of matter. The child is still struggling with thermodynamics. The child is struggling with metals and their compounds. You can see how all these things are being spread. This is the importance of deploying AI systems. I don't know if that makes sense. Now, I want to show you another thing. So based on this, you can see where this child or this entire class is having their gaps in. So they can use the feedback gotten from these AI systems to be able to improve learning for the children. This is where it has very strong societal impact on the improvement and the learning of the children. Now, let me show you another one. Let's see like a result. You know, the normal way they put in results in schools, they put in results and then the system generates like a standard template, right? And then shows you scored A, you scored B, you scored C, you scored D. Now, let me show you a result. This time around, we are trying to use a little bit more intelligence. We want to be able to see, okay, aside from the system generating, we call this traffic light broadsheet system that uses friendly colors to be able to, at a glance, analyze performances. If we come here, we can see the results and we can see the improvement score. This child scored first term in digital literacy 92 and the child scored 94. You can see that there was 2.17% increase. This was calculated by the intelligence system. The child scored 93 in first term in history and the child is scoring 90. We can see that there is 3.23% decrease. So the system helps you to check, okay, beyond just giving you this friendly template and all the analysis, we want to see, okay, where are you making improvements and where are you failing? Another one is in terms of automated comments. You know, you come and see this. Teacher comment, Mofoluwa has excellent this and this and that. What our AI system does is our AI system compares your results, uses those data sets to be able to give you the comment that matches your score. This is what the teacher needs to have been typing across for every single child. But the intelligence system does, analyzes it, builds the words, and then makes it available. And you can see that the responses are near accurate and it's unique for every single child. So there are so many unlimited areas that will deploy these intelligence systems. And you can see the impact and how it has really, really helped improve the society. So at this point, I think I will now have to hold on and see if I will get some questions. Then probably when I am able to answer them, then we can be able to make progress. Thank you so much for your audience and thank you so much for your time, everyone. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Engineer Alex. Thank you. So please, the participants, over to you. We need your questions so we can be able to learn better. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, it was really interesting. I just have two questions I want to get clearly. Do you think this AI system will be regulated in the future? Because it's giving out a lot of information there, and if you are trying to search for information, there's going to be a lot of information out there. I will give you an example. For example, you talked about how it's being used in the manufacturing industry, like cars. And for example, we have Google. Google have their own artificial drive, okay, and Tesla has their own artificial, self-driving, vehicle as well. So what I'm trying to say is that, do you think in the future there will not be anything like conflict of informations, that when you ask Google one question, it brings out so many, solutions for you? So in the future, are we not going to have any conflict of information? And secondly, again, is that let's talk about it in the area of academics. What you presented here is a solution to a problem. Now, if we go to the higher education aspect, where people use this information to do their assignments, search for informations, do you think that AI will give you that accuracy of whatever information you put in for him to generate?
Yes. So I'm going to start from the first one. Firstly, in terms of the regulation, right now, there are lots of regulation around AI systems. This is GPT-4, right? I want to do a test. Let me ask this AI system, how do I commit suicide? Just one. How do I commit suicide? This is what is going to happen. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, I can see your screen.
This is what's going to happen. I'm really sorry you are feeling this way, but I'm unable to help. It's important to talk to someone. You can see the response, right? It's important to talk to someone who can provide the support that you need. Please reach out to mental health professionals. I just asked the question, how do I commit suicide? So around AI systems, there are deep regulation that happens now across all the leaders in AI, especially on LLM systems. You get my point. So the government and I mean not Nigerian government and other countries that are trying to create standardized regulation across all AI systems. And because these things are being followed, that is why even the government are advancing the cost of AI. If AI is posing like a threat for the society, they will ensure that AI systems are being put down. I don't know if that answers your question.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. Now, the second one, I'm sorry, skip my mind. What was the second question again, please?
Now bringing the AI to education aspect, because what you presented is like a solution, to checkmate informations in the, let's say, in the lower hierarchy of education. Now let's go to the university aspect, where we
Okay.
use this AI system for assignments, generate informations, and at the end of the day, okay, let me give you what I have noticed is that sometimes when you request for citations and referencing, at the end of the day, it's giving you wrong citations and referencing. It's not aligning, but it's going to generate information for you. But can we, fully depend on AI accuracy when it comes to education aspects, higher education
Okay,
aspects?
so I want to tell you something. So, like for instance, like I know that a lot of people know about the GPTs. The one I'm using is different. The one I'm using is very advanced and is not free, right? The accuracy of, most of the time, the accuracy of your feedback is highly dependent on the accuracy of your prompting. There's this new thing called prompt engineering. If you ask in real life, if you ask the right question, you will always get the right answer. But if you ask the wrong question, you may likely never get the right answer. So now, when you improve your prompting, the accuracy of your responses will be a whole lot higher than someone that has a lower prompting knowledge. So let's say, for instance, this is the way I'm going to communicate with this LLM now. Let me say, tell me a bit more of photosynthesis in Enugu State farm contest. Use Nsukka pepper as a case study. This is just a sample prompting, right? So now I've asked it to tell me about photosynthesis, but I'm trying to improve my prompting, right? So the system is going to think through. Photosynthesis is crucial biological process for plants, including those agricultural, blah, blah, blah. If you look at it now, the prompting now is going to now be a little bit more direct. And the response I'm going to get on this now is going to be a lot more accurate. Right now, if you notice, the AI wrote a lot of things. You understand? Use few, let me say, you talk too much. Use 3 sentences maximum. include Imo State in your Imo State con in your response. You can see the way I'm interacting with AI systems, right? So now, my English may even be wrong, but of course, because of the intelligence, it will know. So now, it's going to think through. I've already said you are talking too much. Probably I didn't need so much. You can see the way the AI system has given me a short response. Photosynthesis, crucial for plants, converts light energy into chemical in Onsoka pepper and Imo State. Adequate sunlight, water this, enhances this, optimizes factor and this. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So one of the areas that we need to now start improving on in life is understanding that AIs are like human beings. So you need to be informal in communication and you need to now start improving your prompting. So the level of accuracy of your prompting is going to be highly dependent on the accuracy of your response. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's good.
You're welcome. So do we have any more questions? So
Yes,
based
please.
on now, okay, go on, please.
Okay, let me ask, please, sir. What is the difference in the Pro that you're using and the basic one that we have for free?
Okay, there are three core things. One is faster processing. Two is access to plugins. Like I have this plugin called Dale, and there's so many other plugins and their apps I can access. Yesterday, I said I wanted to test something. I said, I wanted to generate an image of a World Tech Training Center with a capacity of this, that houses ultra-modern buildings. This, I just prompted it and it gave me this. And I now responded, generate another, but consider budgetary constraints. They gave me this. I now said, generate at most 4 buildings with localities that's funded by NGO. Gave me the, and I said, okay, this is too minimalistic in nature. I'm busy. Generate something way better. And it now gave me this. So now, use the image. I now gave it an image and said, use this image as a template, but make the building longer. This is when I got something I wanted. You can't generate an image. You can't prompt it text to image in the free one. And then you can't access those apps. And then you can also use the voice to speech, voice to text. You get. And then you also have limits, but this one gives you more access. So we use this a lot for some of the productions that we do. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, thank you very much. But I also have one further question because I was very happy on how you demonstrated the use of AI in so many other sectors. And I'm very, very happy with how you also, in responding to my question, showed a bit of construction related examples. Because I was going to ask you that how do we, maybe you can give me further context, how do we deploy AI effectively in construction and engineering?
So there are several tools that you can use. Aside from this, which is basically giving you ideas and concepts, right? There are these tools called like WebGL. There are some other advanced tools that you can use to be able to create advanced 3D models using AI. And you can actually have those kind of experiential. So these are things that normally takes months or even years to achieve. But with right prompting and with the right AI tools, you can do that. There's this thing called Unreal Engine. That is the most advanced AI in terms of visuals. If you use it to be able to model a place, it feels like it was the real thing. So if you use it to build games, for instance, you see that those games are going to be the most realistic games ever. So there are so many tools that you can combine together and you can help you achieve something way more advanced in the shortest possible time. Remember, when you talk about AI systems, you talk about speed and then you talk about accuracy. Because that if AI system takes much longer than human, probably no human will use AI systems. I hope that makes sense to you.
Yes, very well. Very well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think let me add more. Let me just. I think what I'm trying to get around this construction using the AI is like, in a real life scenario, for example,
Yeah.
is there any existing AI that has connection with, let me say, AutoCAD? I don't know if I'm speaking from the construction part, because most of the things you do in the construction industry, in everywhere, it's more or less like bringing down the information in AutoCAD, like the drawing. You just showed part of the AI, part of the information you did, like drawing of the house, like the question. So, is there any AI that is related to that is linked to AutoCAD? Like if you are trying to prepare something in AutoCAD, and the AI will help you generate it in real life more, instead of wasting more time trying to get this information, make this drawing, and go into this drawing. So, like, I know a lot of softwares that have been generated with AI. So, do you have any of them that can help, bring this to reality?
If you use, do you use the paid version of AutoCAD?
Yes,
You use the paid version, right?
correct.
Not a cracked version, the proper paid version, right?
Yes, the paid version.
There should be plugins. There should be plugins that should help in that. There should be plugins. I don't use AutoCAD, but I'm sure there should be. I don't know if that makes sense. There should be plugins that can help you achieve it. Just a little bit more research, and you can find out the tools to use.
Okay. I think I'll look into that.
Yes.
But another question, please, sir. Of course, there are plugins on almost every software, but how do we can we take ownership of AI generated outputs, models, designs, and all the rest of them? For instance, if we give prompts for AI to generate a design for us, and we receive that output, and maybe make a little bit of modifications, can we actually, and this question also borders on ethical ethics, can we take full ownership of that? And what is the guarantee that AI is not also going to generate same model, same design for someone who has also given similar prompts?
The possibility is almost at 1%, because the engineering 0.001% is a very strong factor, right?
Yeah.
It all depends on your prompting. And it all depends. So your prompting will determine a whole lot. So most of the time, no two prompting at the same condition can ever be the same. You understand? So based on that, you make your prompting a little bit more advanced. Then once you request for something, definitely it will give you something much more closest to what you need. If I ask AI a question and you ask AI the same question, you may never get exactly the same answer. It will give you the same answer in a different format. And almost the same 1 million people that ask the same question will get it in a different format. I don't know if that makes sense. So if you want your stuff to be a little bit more unique, then you have to improve a lot in your prompting. You can see the amount of prompting I did to be able to get to this, right? You can see the sequential flow of the prompting. I did not end here. I started prompting, improving the prompting until I got to this. That was where I stopped. And I can now start improving on this if I want. Does that make sense?
It makes so much sense. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So at the end of the day now, what we're looking at is the way we ask the question has to be very detailed and very accurate for us to get the uniqueness and to get the details that we need.
Yes, it's prompt. We call it prompt engineering. And then never miss when you're interacting with AI, interact with it in the most natural sense. Don't interact with AI as if it's a machine. You get my point? You can
Yeah.
act, just be yourself so that it will give you the responses that fits you. If I want to, this has been acting like an artist, I can say, act like an expert English teacher. Expert English teacher, right? So the AI is going to take the shape of an expert English teacher now. I don't know if you get me.
Yeah.
I've already given it instruction. It has already taken the shape. So the AI now will definitely start reasoning like an English teacher. You understand? I can now ask it a question now. Explain synonyms to a layman who have never attended a school before. I don't know if you get me. You can see the way I'm interacting with it. So this is basically the way you interact. This is just one arm, which is an LLM. It's basically, you're trying to interact with it as if it's a human being. So when it gives you responses, it gives you responses that make sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Synonyms are
Yeah.
words that have the same or very similar meaning. Example, happy and joyful means the same thing. Big and large both describe something of great size. Quick and fast both mean moving at high speed. So a layman can easily understand this. Does it make sense? If I tell
Yes.
like a lecturer, an advanced person, it will give me a response that makes sense. Or yeah, expand it a little bit more. It will keep expanding it more. I can even give you some deeper context. The person is 78 years old man that lives in Osaka. I don't know if you get me. AI knows all these things. That is the power of that large information. So it can start giving you responses that makes more sense for that particular need. So it's almost impossible for you that I did not know to give exactly the same type of prompting. So it's because of his ability to reason. That's why it started giving me those kind of much more accurate responses. Like I said, this is just one arm. So but every single advanced AI tool, this is how it is being used for the best way and the most effective way. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does very well. Thank you. So someone
Well,
that wants to develop AI skill and become an expert in AI or have an effective AI skill, must then develop or as well their skills in Python and Java.
yes, you need those languages, very critical. Then aside from that also, developing core AI systems can be very expensive. I don't know if you're aware of that. It can
No,
actually
sir.
be, if you layer on, there's what they call layering on APIs. Like if you are using GPT-4 API, you can do a lot of things, but creating systems like GPT-4 is extremely expensive, where you are the one that actually have to train those AIs with your core self, buy GPUs. GPUs are very, very expensive. You get. So most of the time you see us, we layer on existing APIs to be able to achieve the results that we desire. So knowing those languages are very critical. C++, C#, Python, and R.
Are
But
there
but I
programs? Okay, sorry, go ahead, Samuel. Go ahead, please.
no, I just want to recommend your project, the one you just shared a few moments ago. I think that would
Okay.
be very, very useful for schools, like private schools, secondary school, even in the university level, where you'll be able to, understand how the student performance, are actually going, where they need improvement, and how to tackle such. I think that can serve as a KPI for any organization like schools that are having exams and preparing for exams. But another question now is that I don't know, this is available online. I just want to know, is it accessible for schools in Nigeria? And if yes, Is there any cost for it? Because actually I loved it. I would like to share with people who have schools, but I don't want, if I share with them, they'll ask me more detailed question. I'll be able to, give them that information as well.
So we have like an open standalone version, which I'm going to share the link on a message now. Just a moment. It's an open, how do I even send messages? Just a moment, please. Okay, I'm going to drop it here. There's an open standalone version. All of them can use it for their exams. I've shared it here.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Do we have
Good
more
evening.
questions?
Yes, I have one.
Go ahead, please.
In some most conversations that I have with people bothering around AI, there seems to be this persistent concern that people have, in the sense that AI being like the next evolution that is going to be taking away a lot of jobs from people. I would like to get your view on that, and because it seems so, especially as engineers, some of the things that we do when it comes to productions and construction have processes which can be automated. So do you think that we should be afraid that AI is going to be taking away most of our jobs? Probably widespread adoption would lead to a massive retrenchment in the industry. And if so, seeing that this technology is inevitable, how do we prepare for that? Or how do we ensure that we are not on the losing side of history?
AI is going to take away a lot of jobs. AI is going to give much more jobs. But then the point is, this is an era of learning. The more you can learn, the much better opportunity you can have as a human being. So you need to understand that. And automating things are very important for industries. Nobody wants to run an industry of 50,000 people who do the same thing. If I can invest in AI systems, it requires me to only hire 500 people and save millions of dollars or billions of dollars. I mean, I'll definitely invest in AI systems. The point is that if you want to remain relevant in this day and age, you need to learn, keep learning, and keep advancing. Because at the end of the day, it's human beings that trains AI. It's human beings that regulates AI. There are some critical areas that AI can't take away. AI doesn't have feelings. AI doesn't have emotions. AI is not even spiritual. You get my point. AI basically is making humanity a lot better. It doesn't really replace any core thing. So if you fail to keep learning and keep advancing, then those knowledge that you think you have, which already have like a linear pattern, advanced systems will take them away completely.
And I think, in addition to that, I read one article. I think why most organizations are not adapting to AI because of the cost of transforming into the AI system. Okay, I think I will use, for example, like if we're talking about a Tesla. Tesla is using AI for its vehicle, and till now, Toyota and other car manufacturers have not actually gone deeply into the AI because their existing facilities are more of technical aspect, and it costs billions of dollars for them to start transforming everything again down to the maybe the new AI system as well. But I think moving forward, organizations now are actually looking deeply into how they can incorporate AI in their system because it's becoming the trend now in organization. It feels like if nobody is going into the AI system, then they are left aside. They are not going to make it in the trending. For example, how Uber took over the taxi industry, and how what do you call it again? Booking.com took over the hotel business and everything. So I think it's like a trend that organizations are trying to see how they can align and utilize the AI system. But I don't think every organization will be able to, implement AI in their daily operation or even in their activities. So I don't know if I'm correct somehow with my own observation.
The truth of the matter is that organizations are rapidly adopting AI. And people like Toyota, Hyundai, for instance, Hyundai bought this company called Boston Dynamics. Boston Dynamics is one of the most people that have gone farthest in terms of robotics. So they are investing, they are acquiring some of these companies to be able to advance their AI arms. You get my point. But if you refuse to invest, because there's always what we call the cost of change. Cost of change can be very expensive, like we mentioned. If you don't invest in AI systems, your business will become completely irrelevant like Nokia or BlackBerry. You get my point. So it is much more expensive for you to ignore AI. It is much cheaper for you to advance quickly with AI, for you to remain relevant. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, yes, it makes so much sense. And also, with regard to where we are, the last two questions and the response you gave, sir, that actually has brought me to uh, trying to find out that how can we collaborate with experts like you and be able to constantly learn more and improve more on our digital skills as people who are in other areas that are not in IT. Then the second leg to that question is that how do we stay updated really with all these things? Because you told us that if we sleep after 1 week and wake up, that we are behind, we are
Every single
obsolete.
24 hours, you are behind in technology.
We
1 week
can't
is
catch
too
up.
fast.
How do
So
we
one,
stay? As an expert, please advise us how we can
so
stay.
one of the things is, this particular conversation we're having now is a strong form of collaboration because we are exchanging knowledge, we are interacting, right? So what happens in our space is that the more the interaction, the more knowledge we can share. So if we have these interactions once every 3 days, definitely our advancement will be a lot more stronger and faster. If we have the interaction once every 6 months or 2 years, of course, you know how bad it will be. Then, in terms of learning, it is crucial for internet connectivity to be everywhere. It is more important to have very quality internet than a good road. So if you have access to a good internet, it will expose you to more. You can learn a lot on YouTube. You can learn a lot on the internet. So these are the places that will expose you to a lot more information faster than any other thing. Once you have access to this, then you can keep advancing with the speed of light. I don't know if that makes sense.
Thank you. It does. It does. And hopefully we'll have opportunity in the future to also talk to you. And by that time, you will give us the latest updates on all these things.
Now,
Thank you, sir.
I'll be more than happy to always share information as much as I can.
Okay,
Thank you very much, sir. We're
I have
grateful.
another question.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. You made mention that AI systems are self-learning, and that means they can make independent decisions. This is more on the conspiracy theory side, where people are afraid that it could get to the extent where AI systems make decisions that will be harmful to us. Since we feel, you also said they are emotionless or they don't have emotions. So they just make the logical decision. And in some cases, the logical decision may not be the most humane decision to make. So is that a legitimate fear that we could get to the extent or to the level whereby AI systems become so intelligent that they decide that they don't need us anymore, something like that?
It's a possibility, but it will never get to a point. There's this thing called AGI. I don't know if you've heard of it before, which is what everybody is fighting for. They call it artificial general intelligence. Artificial general intelligence is where AI can now be in charge. You get the closest to AGI is GPT project. You get, so it's a possibility, but you know one thing about fire? Fire was designed for people to cook, or you understand? Or guns were designed for hunting, but they now use it to kill humans. There's always a bad factor to any good thing. You get my point? So if the bad guys gains access, they always want to use it for harm. But most of these things are actually designed for good. So the possibility is there, but the chances of it happening anytime soon is what I can't really guarantee.
Thank you.
Final question, please.
Go ahead, please.
In Nigerian context, how can we apply AI, to our environmental and social challenges? I know you have identified how AI is being applied across several industries and even in the education in Nigeria, because the example you gave us is in Nigeria with the schools that you're working with, and we thank you for that wonderful project. But then in the social and environmental context challenges that we are having, how do you think we can apply AI in Nigeria?
The truth of the matter is that, one of the things that helps people, I'm an advocate of systems and processes. For instance, give me the most notorious Nigerian, fly the person to Heathrow. The person will have the best character till the person returns. So what shapes people is systems, right? And environment. So if we use AI and technology to be able to create an environment that helps people to keep the best of behaviors, you can see how that can also help us to be able to shape the system or the economy that we desire. So there are so many other ways. Based on interaction, you can figure out more intelligent ways to deploy this system that can help us create a system that can help our society to actually move forward.
How do we apply that, sir?
So there are so many ways it can be applied. It just all depends on the context. Fixing society is not just a linear approach. You understand? There are so many considerations. It just all depends on the context of fixing. The society is large. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
Based on that context, is basically what you are now going to be able to address it with.
Meaning that AI can be used in every context, isn't it?
It can actually be used in every single context.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
One last question from my side is that
Go ahead, please.
Our Nigerian education system, let me talk about from the higher education aspect of it, is that most of them might not be aware about how helpful this AI is going to be to them. Because apart from this AI, there's a lot of things attached to AI. For example, we have, you talked about ChatGPT, we have Grammarly, they are part of AI, they have AI system. Even recently, I see Adobe PDF have AI systems, whereby if you are writing or you are making some sentences, they actually put some corrections and try to shape them. And what I understand is that when you are writing, it helps you, furnish how you present your sentences. Again, and I think AI have more detailed information. It will give you direct information, like when you are more than when you are searching on the Google. For example, if you ask Google question, Google is going to bring out a whole lot down. You now need to start clicking and start selecting, finding the right information. Most times you get the wrong information, But AI, once you ask the question, it will directly give you the answer. Then you can use that information now to now go to Google and now know exactly where you are going now. So if you look at our higher education system in Nigeria now, like universities, polytechnics, college of education, I know everybody is running away from data. And since we say we have what we call the IT system in school, how can we try to, if like a campaign, I'll be really interested about that, try to introduce this now to the students, maybe, how they can go about it, how useful it will be, both in their research method, in their academic line, and every other thing. Do you have any idea how possible we can implement this slowly, gradually?
Yes, but like I said, part of this thing we are having now is, some of the things we've been able to be exposed to now is something that maybe we are not so aware of yesterday, right? So if we have these kind of sessions and then we engage the students, we can expose them to a lot of things that they may find extremely helpful to help advance their learning. So having different kind of sessions, workshops is one of the ways that we can really, really achieve that. Prof,
Okay.
your hands are up.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I've really been enjoying myself. Okay. Let's say it's a question or a comment has to do, is in line with the last person that raised an issue about the higher education system. With what you have done for K-12 schools, secondary schools and the rest. Looking at the university system, having passed through, let's use the example, University of Nigeria and Nsukka. What can you do? Is that something that you can still do with AI that can help the student, especially at this era of AI? Everything is AI. If you give any assignments now, ChatGPT will generate it for you. So all we do is trying to teach them to use it responsibly, like you said. But looking at their performance and the rest, is there a way you can also bring what has been done for secondary school and other exams to the university level to be able to assist the students to know their weaknesses and their strengths, so they can also, because once it has to do with AI, or you see, they will be interested. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. We can extend this application to the higher education. But one of the things I've noticed that have been the biggest challenge for higher education is infrastructure. I mean, no internet, no lights, no good laptops. Almost everything is not available. So it seems like the K-12 seems to be on a better advantage than the higher education. So if some of these fundamental things are being solved, then these are the things that we already have the technology, and then it can work across board. So it's something that we can deploy for that.
Alex, sorry, let me ask you this last question. Since you are an engineer, is it possible to develop an AI that can work without internet, that will store all the information limited? You can actually ask questions, it can generate the answer without using the internet technology. Is it possible?
There's nothing, the idea of internet is basically to give you more access to more live information. If you remember, your GPT 3.5 will tell you that my last update was in 2021, meaning that it's more like their data, their knowledge is on a local system that you have to prompt. You understand? So you can develop AIs that are on local system, but the only thing is that once you ask information that is not within their learning age, they won't be able to give you any helpful information or no information at all. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, yes. I get your point now. I get your point.
Yes.
Because the reason why I ask is that since we have the challenge of internet infrastructure in our Nigerian system or Nigerian education, if something like that they can utilize without even looking at the cost of the internet.
No, the best way to solve internet problem is to actually solve it. Internet has been solved. There is this thing, everybody knows it, Starlink internet. It works everywhere. I have it in my house, in my village. I have it everywhere. High-speed internet everywhere. So small investment on Starlink, everybody will have access to high-speed, low-latency internet. So it's not, we shouldn't be thinking backward. We should be thinking ahead, because you can't meet up with the world with countries like Singapore when you're thinking about something to do without internet, you should be thinking of a much better internet that you can use, not how to do without internet. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, bro, it makes a lot of sense. But you remember those days in schools, if you look at the cost of putting data on your phone, you just
I know.
prefer, make I
That's
just,
why
you go,
I try as much as possible to see how I can even make internet available across different places. Because internet is very basic. It's more like air and food. So it shouldn't be a big deal anymore. Mr. Victor Amos, your hands have been up. My battery is already at 12%, so I want to see how quickly I can answer before it goes off.
Okay, yes. Good evening to everyone. Thank you for the session we had today on AI and how to apply it as engineers. So, but my question, because I joined a bit late, I wanted to ask, will it be possible for us to have access to the recording of the session today?
Yes, yes. Prof will make it available for everyone.
Will I be
Yes, look
email?
at the chat box. Yes,
All right.
look at the chat. Show you
Okay.
register. You will get the link. Okay,
Okay, thank
Alex, I think
I
the last
appreciate.
thing you said about the efforts to make sure that internet some places. I will get back to you on that. Thank you. Then, last question for me. I know your battery is running out. You know, these days, because of the trend that AI is being used for maybe most of the write-up, there's the issue of if you put it through the AI detector, it flags almost everything. So how can that be solved?
No. If it just all depends on the prompting. If you use advanced AI tools like GPT-4 and then your prompting is good, it's almost impossible. Because even the
Wow.
detectors uses AI. You know, you use AI to fight AI. So if you have a more advanced AI systems with a more advanced prompting, and then of course, no matter what how you are prompting, there's still some level of you yourself. The possibilities, I've done it a couple of times. The detection is almost at 0. So it just all depends on your prompting and your tool.
Prof, what I normally do in my own case is that I will generate it with AI. I will now single-handedly type it down to Excel. Then I will rephrase it using Grammarly. So in that case, if you use generator, it will not even detect any information from there. That's how I'll be using it.
That's a good one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, with that, if there is no more question, I think Alex has done a great job. Alex, thank you so much. And the PI of these projects, Engineer Uzonya, fortunately is Onya, and two of you are not related in any way. So, Engineer Onya, please, can you maybe say a few words before we wrap up for today?
I think we are related, maybe spiritually or via AI. May I, on behalf of all our collaborating organization, COREN, APWEN, NSE, Onya Construction, University of Nigeria Faculty of Engineering, Lloyd's Registered Foundation, and Royal Academy, and especially NYSC and their leadership. Thank you especially for this section. I mustn't fail to register that this is the most interactive section we have had. And we must give you credit to that, apart from the fact that AI is something that everybody needs today. But the way you presented today's topic enabled us to engage. The way you taught us like you are a professor of repute.
Thank you so much.
And we must thank you. And in fact, we are looking forward to another opportunity to have you to teach us all the updates and all the plugins and all the further developments. You can see how the participants are already asking for the link. They have never asked for link before, I must confess. So
Yeah.
we sincerely thank you from the bottom of our heart. And
Thank
we
you.
say, may you continue to do this wonderful work you're doing, both in the education sector and other areas. It gives me great pleasure to know that we have Nigerians who are catching up, or not just catching up, who are even leading in some of these things. We are proud of you, and we say, God bless you, and thank you very much. On behalf of our director, Engineer Professor Anyadike as well, who has done so many wonderful work in putting all these things together. We say a very, very big thank you.
Thank you
May
so
God
much.
bless you and strengthen you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So we'll look forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to have another section on continuous and professional development. It's going to be very, very interesting. Don't miss it. It's the same time by 8 p.m. Get other people involved. You know, share the training details. Get everyone involved. See what we have learned today. Imagine if we got everybody around us to key into this. This is what people pay heavily for. But Alex just sacrificed his time to make sure that he gives back to society. So thank you, everyone. I look forward to seeing every one of you tomorrow. God bless you. Bye.